Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going through kind of a depressing video. This is going to be the makeup that I'm just getting rid of because it's old. So it's technically a declutter, but I'm just throwing it away because it's at least like minimum 2 years. Greater on the side of like 4-ish. I don't even want to talk about it. We're going to just jump into this because I have kind of a lot of things that I'm just going to get rid of, and it's just kind of depressing because my makeup drawers, I have like a 5 drawer setup from IKEA, and it used to be packed full to the brim with makeup back in my heyday prime of buying makeup and using makeup. That is no more. I try not to spend like I used to because it just doesn't make any sense. It's not smart to spend like that, and I'm trying to be a better human as far as that goes. So this is definitely like a learning experience, and I have a lot of memories attached to these things, so we're gonna get into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is from Smashbox. It's a primer water. It's the Photo Finish Love Ritual. This is from a collection that they had, I want to say, in 2018. 2017 or 2018. I think it was 2018. This is Jasmine and Rose. I love this. This smells so good. But it is so old now, and it's just, I think the date on it says 24 months, and it has for sure been more than that, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss this. Would I rebuy something like that? Not necessarily, no. There was a point in time when I was like way into primers and stuff like that, and then I found out the primer waters, and I was like, primer waters could work, and they did work for me, but like right now where I am, I don't have time for that, so I wouldn't buy it again right now, but maybe in the future, like distant future. Another thing I'm going to just get rid of because it's lots and lots of years old is this Huda Beauty Overachiever Concealer in the shade Marshmallow. The actual packaging of this is why I bought it initially, ultimately, because I saw it in store and it was new, and I was like, oh my gosh. And in the end, yes, I did love it. I loved the applicator. I loved the packaging of it. The little metal tip was like A+, but the actual concealer itself never really did anything for me, and it was like, it never stood out for me. Kind of creased on me, and I mean, I crease a little bit as it is, but this was just kind of rough, so I ended up not using it all the way, but I held on to it for the metal applicator. I'm just passing it on. I'm passing it on to the trash can. That's where I'm getting rid of it. I need to be done with it. So these next two things I have from one of my friend's weddings back in 2018. Like, I specifically remember I bought this just for her wedding. It's this Anastasia Beverly Hills glitter adhesive. Again, the date on this says 12 months, and I know for a fact that I bought it in 2018. I also picked up this single eyeshadow glitter from Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Pink Sapphire. It's a loose glitter, and it is beautiful. I loved the color of this. This was fantastic, and having the glitter glue for, like, I wore it to her wedding and I loved it. I have no complaints about it, but I'm not going to put that on my eyes. It's so old now, so I'm getting rid of these things. Another thing I know for a fact I bought either at the end of 2017 or the beginning of 2018 is this Tarte Chrome Paint Shadow Pot in Frosé. The color of this is beautiful, and to be honest with you, I know I had this, and to be honest, so in 2018, I had a traumatic brain injury from a horse riding accident, and I know for a fact I was using this eyeshadow because I was working at Ulta when I had the accident, so when I went back to work, I still had to wear makeup, so like, I had a traumatic brain injury, like a severe one, so it was interesting for me to put makeup on. So this paint pot really did wonders for me, and it like saved me a lot of the times because I could just slap it on. But 2018 is too long ago to be still using this, and I don't even use it anyways. I just have it in my collection, so we're going to toss this one too. Would I buy that Tarte Chrome Paint Pot again? I mean, no. not really, no. Any of these things that I'm talking about pretty much I wouldn't buy again. If I would have already bought them, I guess. I'm in a weird place with makeup. So I have some eyeliners. The first one I'm going to talk about is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's in the shade Liquid Silver. I loved this eyeliner. This was like my thing for a minute. Also, back in 2018-ish, this was my thing. Like, hardcore. I don't wear eyeliners anymore really at all, so yes, but this silver from Anastasia Beverly Hills was absolutely the best. If you're looking for an eyeliner, a silver eyeliner specifically, this one will totally do it for you. I love this one. So the other three that I'm going to get rid of are all from Urban Decay, and they're in their 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil waterproof liners. I have a black one in Zero. I have this amber bronze color in Starfire, and I have this light gold glitter in Space Dust. These are, okay, not the black one. I really have never been, not since I was a little kid, haven't been much into black eyeliner, but the colored ones, I feel like I got this from Influencer or something, or perhaps when I was still working at Ulta. I had it for some gift or something, I don't remember. I like the colored ones. Colored liners have always been my thing, and I liked these, especially the Starfire one. That one was one of my favorites, along with the Liquid Silver one from Anastasia Beverly Hills, but I just don't use eyeliners anymore, and these are also, again, 4 years old, so you're not supposed to put eyeliners on your eyes that long. I mean, it does go bad. So, I'm passing them to the trash can. Okay, so these next few things I want to talk about, I, again, know when they came from. They came from May of 2020, right before I had my first child. I made a humongous order at Sephora, on Sephora online during their VIB sale, and I just, like, in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep while I was at the end of my pregnancy, I just made a huge order, and these things were a part of it. They're the Fenty Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blushes. I have 2 shades of it. I have 02 Petal Poppin' and 08 Summertime Wine. I feel like I could say I definitely used the Petal Poppin' more than the wine one, but ultimately I didn't use these. I had convinced myself lots of things in the middle of the night, and I just never got into it. Cream products are for some people, but for me, I just never got into it, so I don't know. But again, these are from May of 2020, and it is now March of 2023, so we're gonna toss these. More things that I had picked up during that endeavor of shopping online. More Fenty products. I got 2 of these Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Bronzers. I got 01 in Amber and 02 in Butter Biscuit. Ultimately, I used the Amber more because I'm pale, pasty. What does she say? Uncooked chicken. Teresa is dead. Yeah, she says uncooked chicken, and I'm definitely uncooked chicken status. So I definitely used Amber more, but I ultimately used them both. When I would use them, I would use them both at the same time. I liked them. I didn't get into the blushes. I got more into the bronzers than the blushes, but in the end, I didn't really get into the bronzers or the blushes like I had hyped myself up about and talked myself into. I didn't use them like I had thought I would. So I'm going to just toss all of these Fenty products because, again, they're from May of 2020. Foundations. I went through a phase where I was like super hardcore into foundations. I'm not there anymore. I'm not that person. But I was. Once upon a time, I was hardcore into foundations, and I liked full coverage foundations. Anything less was not good. Again, I worked at Ulta for a while, so I really got into a lot of things with makeup, and I have decluttered my collection so many times, and this is like one of the final declutters I'm going to be able to do because this is like the last final things I had been like really holding on to that I don't normally regularly use. Okay, so anyways, foundations. These are old. They're old. First one I'm going to talk about is from Too Faced. It's the Born This Way foundation in vanilla. I loved the Born This Way foundation. There was a time where I was like a hardcore diehard for the Born This Way. Do I use it now? No, but do I think it's bad? No. Like, also no. That's not the case. In fact, in the future, I wouldn't mind trying it again to see if I could, jive with it again. Because, like I said, there was a point in time where Born This Way foundation was the only foundation I would use. And I had used, like, in the past, I've used up complete bottles just for my own personal use before I even worked at Ulta. So, I like Born This Way, and no, I don't have any more of this, and this shade is too dark as it is. It's also from 2017, 2018, but I need to get rid of it. But in the future, I would like to pick up another shade when I need a foundation again, which isn't right now, but when I need a foundation again, I'd like to try Born This Way again. So another one I have, this one I also picked up during that May 2020 online shopping trip endeavor that I had. It's the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation in the shade 20 CP. The color of this, wasn't terrible, but wasn't perfect for me. Again, I bought it online, didn't swatch it. Everything was closed back then. It was like COVID pandemic height of it, because I have technically 2 pandemic babies, but like Bo, my oldest, he was born June of 2020. So he was already in progress when, C19 happened. So I didn't get to swatch this one in store. Ultimately, it was okay. Did I give it its full shot? No, because I was knee deep in being a new mom. And no, I didn't use it that much. And here we are, 2023, and I'm sure, it can't not be bad. I think it says 12 months on the bottom, so yeah. We're tossing it. We're tossing both of them. So another single foundation that I have is this Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation in the shade 1N1 Creme. Okay, so this one's definitely one of the oldest ones that I know for sure is in my collection right now. And this one was gifted to me from Influencer, actually. Right at the time when I moved from Colorado, where I had been living, back to my hometown in Michigan. Yeah, I had changed my address, and I had been planning to move back, and where I had changed my address to, they called me. They were like, "You received a box. So this is from Influencer." I was like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, well, it was this." Did I like it? In the moment, yeah, I freaking loved this. This. And it was something that I'd gotten for free, so I was a diehard for this. Did I buy it again? No. Would I buy it again? No. Laura Mercier stuff is just not really for me. I know people like it, and that's cool. I'm glad if you like this. If you love this, that's great. But I wouldn't buy this one again. Okay, so these next 2 foundation products are I guess technically foundations, but they're CC creams. They're, I don't remember the technical term for it. I'm so out of makeup. Just a lightweight, yeah, we're gonna call it a CC cream. That's the type of thing that we're gonna call it. These next 2 I have are also from 2018, and it was also from that time when I had that traumatic brain injury, and I was changing up how I was wearing makeup, and I was really trying not to do the most with makeup, because I couldn't do the most with anything, because my brain was doing its own, having its own struggles. So these 2 products were something that I had used during that time, and I had also been self-tanning back then, which I'm actually going to get back into, because I actually picked up some more self-tanner, but that's not the point of anything that I was just saying. But I had been self-tanning back at this point in time when I picked up these foundations, so that's why I have a darker shade. They're the Urban Decay Naked Skin One and Done Hybrid Complexion Perfector. I have light, which is my regular shade that I would use, and it's still a little dark on me, and I have medium light, which is my sunless tanner shade. Would I buy this again? I don't even know if it's still out. It's probably already been discontinued, I don't know, but I wouldn't get it again. I don't know that Urban Decay is my brand for makeup foundation. I know it's somebody's brand out there, and I'm glad it's the one for you, but for me, it's not. And maybe I'm just maturing in my age, but I've really been liking the It Cosmetics CC creams. Like, call me crazy, but like I said, maybe I'm just maturing with my age. But I'm going to be 31 this year, but I feel so much older than that. Yeah, long story short, I'm gonna get rid of these because they're old. I need to stop saying that because that's like the point of this whole story. So I'm getting rid of it because it's old. So these final foundations that I have to talk about, they're all the same kind of foundation. Back when I was working at Ulta, I really got into the self-tanning. So I was using the Loving Tan Tanner. So these foundations are a little bit darker than my skin tone or anything that I would ever get even in the summertime. Again, because I was using self-tanner. So that's why I have 5 of these shades. And we're going to talk about expiration dates on these ones, so don't cringe too hard. They're all 5 the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I have 400, 405, 410, 415, and 420. I don't know how long foundations are supposed to last for, but the dates on the back of these foundations are a little terrible. The expiration date on 420 says 11 of 2020. 415 also says 11 of 2020. 410 is 9 of 21. 405 is 6 of 21. And 400 is 3 of 21. Again, if anybody forgot, it's March 2023. So I like this foundation. I feel like I'm more interested in trying Be Born This Way again, more so than this one, the next time I need a foundation. But I'm really also in a mood right now where I'm trying to keep myself from buying makeup before I need it because of everything I've gone through for these past, 6 years of being in makeup, 7 years of being in makeup. Trying to really fix my makeup collection, habits, tendencies, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to fix all of that because that was a little unhealthy. So, but yeah, so I would get this L'Oreal Infallible foundation again, if I needed it, need, but not anytime soon. I have one face palette I'm going to be getting rid of. It's this NARS Exposed Cheek Palette. I feel like, again, this one came out probably 2018, 2017-ish. I thought this one was so cute. Before I had picked this one up, I hadn't purchased much from NARS, so I thought it was bougie and nice. The pattern of the pressing on the pans were really cool. I just thought it was overall really neat. The highlighter really did work for my uncooked chicken skin, but all the colors of everything else just didn't do too much for me. They were okay. Plus, it was a weird consistency. The powder wasn't really a powder. It's technically a powder, but it is also kind of not technically a powder. I never really found a brush that I liked using with it, and packaging is cute. The pans itself are really cute inside, but I never got much use out of it. So it's on its end of its life in my collection, I guess. I have some eyeshadow palettes. These were hard. Okay, I used to love my eyeshadow palettes, hardcore love my eyeshadow palettes. I was so into eyeshadow palettes, it was a little ridiculous. Every single new release, I was getting it. I really tried to curb that after a certain point. Recently, I've gotten a little bit better. I would say, compared to where I was, I'm miles above that, but I'm not where I would like to be. I guess that's all I can say about that. But these ones were really hard for me to get rid of because these eyeshadow palettes I had kept, even though I knew they were old when I was decluttering it before, but I loved them. I did not want to get rid of them. These first 2 are from Huda Beauty. The first Huda Beauty palette I ever picked up was this Rose Gold Remastered palette. Again, I had never picked up a Huda Beauty palette before this one, so I was oh my gosh, this is so fancy. This is so cool. The formula of this eyeshadow is wonderful. Look at these colors. Oh my gosh. And to be honest, when I swatched this pink diamond shade on my hand, I about died. I about took this out of my declutter bin because I was like, that's so pretty. I don't know if they still make this. So yeah, it would be worth it for me to look into seeing if they sell this still. So right now I have a Patrick Ta eyeshadow palette. It's the second one of what, it's this one. But I have that one and I'm using that one, and I'm really trying to not buy more than one thing at a time that I'm using, you know, so I don't know that I would buy this one again. If I need a new eyeshadow palette, I would consider looking into Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes, like in store. I would try and swatch them if I could, see if they have any good ones, but I don't wear eyeshadow like I used to. I have 2 kids now, and my life is, I have 2 little kids, almost 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So my life is just different now. So I don't wear glitters like I used to. So I don't know. I don't know that I would repurchase this. I really loved it while I had it. So the other Huda Beauty palette I have is the new Nudes. Of course, I fell in love with this one when it came out. These little speckled shades are so pretty, and I loved this one. This was my most favorite. But I loved all the speckled shades. I didn't use these like pressed glitters, but I enjoyed this palette, and it took from my Rose Gold Remastered because I loved it, but I like loved it so much, and that was where I was with makeup. I would just buy and buy and buy and buy. That's not where I am right now, but I loved this when it first came out. I don't know that I would buy it again. I really like the little speckly shades in it, and those were the coolest part of that palette in my opinion, but I liked it. So these final eyeshadow palettes I have to talk about, the last 3 are all from the same brand. They're all from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have a Modern Renaissance, a Soft Glam, and a Sultry. So this Modern Renaissance isn't my OG Modern Renaissance from 2015 or 16, whenever it came out. This is not the OG one. This one I picked up in 2018. They ran a sale. Anastasia Beverly Hills and Ulta ran a sale on the Modern Renaissance, and at the moment I had my OG one that I had well used and well worn, so I picked this one up. Did I use this one as much as I should have? In my opinion, I didn't get my use out of this specific palette. My first one I did, but this one I didn't. I was so deep. I had so many eyeshadow palettes by then. There was no way I could make any progress on eyeshadows at that point, but I loved this. This was the original palette that got me into eyeshadow palettes. Like, it did everything for me and then some. I loved it. Would I buy it again? I don't know. I have to make that decision at the end of all of these palettes. So Anastasia Beverly Hills palette number 2 I'm getting rid of is the Soft Glam palette. This one was also so pretty. All of the shimmers in all of these palettes are freaking perfect. And old me loved their shimmers, and only Anastasia Beverly Hills shimmers would do because anything else just wasn't enough. I loved how simple this one was. Again, I didn't get my use that I feel I should have out of it because I had like 50 palettes at the time, but I still loved it. This was still top tier. So the last Anastasia one that I really didn't want to get rid of, I really want to cry thinking about it, is the Sultry palette. This one I know I got in 2017 or 2018. I think it was 2017 Christmas when it came out. But I loved this one. This rose quartz shade is stunning. It's so stinking pretty. Current me, today me, wouldn't need something as glittery and shimmery as Anastasia Beverly Hills. Shimmers and eyeshadow palettes can have, but old me loved them. I had used this for my friend's wedding in 2018, in October of 2018, and I just have such fond memories of it, and I just loved using this palette. This was one of my favorites back then, and it just, I couldn't get enough of it. I'm still sad to be getting rid of it, but it's just time. It's just time. Would I buy any of these Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes again? I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of like betraying them because like I've always been a diehard for Anastasia Beverly Hills, but I feel like I probably wouldn't. I don't know that they would be who I'd look for an eyeshadow palette. So back in the day, 2015 to 2018, I loved glitter. Anything that was like subpar, kind of shimmery, didn't do. It had to be bam to the top. See you from Mars glitter. Like it had to be the best. That was where I was in life. I mean, I still like glitter, but it's a little more subdued. I feel like Anastasia Beverly Hills back then was one of the only brands that actually delivered that sort of an eyeshadow glitter, not in like a pressed pigment or like a single shadow. So I loved this brand back then, but currently I just don't, there's nothing that I want to pick up from them. I like their eyebrow stuff, but their eyeshadows, the makeup world has evolved and developed over time, and there's other brands that have really good shimmers, and I'm not necessarily looking for this quality of shimmers that I found in the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes back then. I'm just looking for maybe not more subtle because it's glitter, but more subtle kind of ish. Just, I don't know, I'm just rambling now. I feel like I'm betraying these palettes and this brand by saying I wouldn't repurchase it again, but I wouldn't repurchase these again. They were from a certain place in time in my life, and I'm just gonna leave them there. So that's what I'm gonna do with all this makeup. I'm gonna keep it in my memories. Okay, I've rambled too much. Far too much. This was hard for me. Much harder for me than I expected it to be. So like, I know it's just makeup and stuff like that, but like I really, really felt attached to a lot of this makeup for a really long time. But I actually feel a little bit better right now, knowing that I've accepted it. I've come to terms with it. It is what it is. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm going to be getting rid of this stuff. All of these things that I loved so, so dearly are also so expired by like at least 3 years minimum. I'm getting rid of them for like sanitary reasons. Come on, self. This is really strange. This is like a new era, moving on to a different part of my life. Okay. Well, this was a lot more nostalgic of a video than I expected it to be, and more of like a heavy kind of a video, I guess. But I feel better knowing that it's going to be out of my way, and I don't have to worry about it tying me down and me having it sitting there, knowing it's just bad. Okay, so if you've hung out and watched this whole video, thank you. I appreciate you. If you're really into collecting makeup, or if you used to be, or if you were into makeup from 2015 to 2017, 2018, I hope you feel as nostalgic about it as I do, because that was such a good time being in makeup. Such a good time. Like I said, I still like makeup. I still wear makeup, clearly. I just am trying to reform my thoughts and my brain with my makeup purchases and my makeup owning and makeup spending and makeup usage, and I'm just trying to cut it down to owning one thing of something, not multiples, and being like, oh, I want to have options. Well, why have options if you're not going to use one? Like, just have what you use, self. And again, this has been very hard for me because I used to just buy every new release from everything, every category, every brand. That was just what I did. I loved it, and it was a time. It was a time. I currently own 2 eyeshadow palettes. I have 1 foundation. I have technically 2 concealers. I have technically 2 mascaras, but I use everything. Like, what I have, I use. So, I'm okay with that. Alright, I'm, again, rambling far too much. I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you guys so much for watching my video talking about all the makeup that I'm going to be getting rid of, because it's gone bad from being in my collection since 2017 or 2018. So, Thank you guys for watching. I hope everybody has a great day. Until next time.